the smell of fresh coffee beans ground. And so it begins, it starts to percolate. Good morning, brothers, and the occasional sister joining us today in the Bro Check Club. I might do 2 videos today, this is a real short one. Normally I'd be out hunting this morning, but I've been working on my houseboat and I'm running out of energy, so I'm allocating my energy to work before I go hunting, because work is actually more important. I've got to get that job finished. Anyway, I don't generally ask you guys of anything, but this time I am asking you of a small favour. Just a small favour. Someone who's really helped me, I'd like you to help them a little bit. And it's only going to take a short moment of time, it won't cost you a damn cent. Chloe, who's been sending me coffee beans forever, she's a patron, and kept me and the farmhouse here in coffee. So many different coffee beans. She's always looked after me. Just puts them in the mail, sends them from Australia, from Swalk Cafe, all the way from Swalk Cafe, told Clay tall stories. She's kept me in coffee. Look, we've got bags open. I never run out of coffee here, and everyone who comes to the farmhouse gets a coffee. And you can have a decaf coffee, you can have a 2 seasons coffee if you want. You can have one of these, the industrial beans coffee. We've got so much coffee going on from her. She's looked after us. And right now, Swalk Cafe are entering a competition in Brisbane for the best cafe. And what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description box and also pinned comments that you can just jump on there and just vote for Swalk Cafe. Even if you've never been to Swalk Cafe, just because Chloe's a good bastard. So by helping her, you're helping me, and you're also helping the wider community. Right, end of story. I'm going to have my coffee and have a yarn to you. Come on, I'm really hanging for it. And there goes the release of steam. Ooh, it's like a train. You wouldn't like it, Tilly. You wouldn't like it, mate. No, you wouldn't. What are you doing down there, mate? Everybody happy today on the farm? It's just something about this little ritual that I love every morning. That's the old percolator. It's a alloy one. My daughter talked me into going to stainless. This coffee's taking extra long this morning for some reason. I think she's nearly done, eh? Gonna blow the whistle one more time. Yeah, I reckon that's about it. Oh, I love that smell. Love it. I like to get the morning sun on me. It's where you get the best vitamin D, that first sort of couple of hours in the morning. Anyway, Malcolm X said something to the effect of that the press have the ability to make our oppressors and the criminals look like the victims, and make the true victims look like they are actually the criminals. And if we're not careful, we can end up hating the wrong people. And that definitely is something that can be said today. And I don't want to go on too much about the pandemic and that, because it gets a bit tiring, but I do want to just point out to a lot of you that are on the same page with me that we shouldn't really blame our governments too much, because they are just really, in the end of the day, just puppets. It's really the guys at the very top, the real big corporations, and I'm talking about Vanguard, BlackRock, ABC, all the guys at the very top that actually pour the thousands, the billions of dollars into lobbying governments and getting what they want. The pharmaceutical companies, the media, the food industry, it's all controlled at the very top by the people that own it. They have the major share. And if you look at the very top, right at the very top of the pyramid, you've got, I think it's Vanguard, then below that you've got BlackRock. These guys own 51% or more shares in a lot of these companies that are actually controlling everything. I mean, if you break it down, if you think about drug cartels that are multi-million dollar or even billion-dollar businesses, the government wants to crush them. They want to do away with, obviously, cash, because that's what those guys they trade in. So once cash is gone, it would make it very hard for them to do business. The reason they want to control the cartels and get on top of all the drugs is not just because of the havoc that they wreak in society by doing damage to people with drug addiction and health. It's not just that. It's a follow the money. No tax is being paid on this revenue. Now, if you've got a pharmaceutical company, they are equally, if not worse, than a lot of those drug cartels in the damage that they do. Look at the court cases that have gone, the biggest payouts in history. Pfizer is the second biggest in the world, $3.5 billion payout. They're taken to court. They were tried. It's criminal what they did. A lot of people suffered. A lot of people died. And the payout was $3.5 billion. And that's a lot of money to you and me. But to them, it's just we'll just bribe that official there. It's a minuscule. The pandemic alone, over $100 billion was created in revenue for drug companies. $100 billion. Do you think that drug companies do you think the shareholders want everybody to be well and not get sick? Hell no. There'd be no revenue for them in it. And the food industry is also owned by the same people. The major food, Mars. What are some of the big players in the food industry? Well, in New Zealand we've got our own local ones like Watties, but those are also subsidiaries of bigger companies. So you've got the sugar industry, you've got the oil industry for all the seed oils that are produced, which do us no good at all. You've got the palm oil industry, which is just a hideous industry in itself. These are all owned by big corporations at the very, very top. And Coca-Cola is massive. Do you know what Coca-Cola actually does to your gut? Have you ever poured it on metal? That stuff there, if you're drinking Coca-Cola, you're frigging mad. Yet it's legal. Of course, the biggest one of all is alcohol. And alcohol does more damage. And you're talking to an ex-whiskey drinker here. Alcohol causes so much damage. Yet a therapeutic drug like CBD, which is really hard to control and get to the people, we hear little of it. And the laboratories in New Zealand that actually test it and make it are so limited, and the funding and everything behind it. So the whole industry is about money. It's all about money. And it's not anything really sinister and bad like a lot of people might think. It's all about money. There's no sentiment in business. These guys don't care whether you live or die. It's not that they're evil. All they care about is how much power and control they've got. And in a way, it is sinister and evil what they're doing, but their mindset is about profit margins for the shareholders, is to keep those companies on the top. It's all about power and control with money, and they use money in ways that you and I cannot even begin to fathom what's going on. So what we had with the pandemic was a real huge opportunity for a lot of these major drug companies to make a colossal amount of money, and also the people that got paid off. Of course, that really required a lot of clever manipulation of the press, creating the fear, and it was always insane to think that you could create a vaccine for a virus that mutates so quickly. This particular virus, if we started off with the Wuhan, or was it Alpha, and then it went Delta, and then Omicron, which was a blessing to society. But by the time they'd made the first vaccine, it had already mutated, so the antigen was hardly ever corresponding to that particular type of virus. It had changed so rapidly, and it does, and that's what viruses do. Now, if you're making a vaccine for smallpox or a vaccine for measles, these don't mutate and change anywhere near to the degree. They're pretty much stable, and they do change, but nowhere near to the extent of what SARS-CoV did. It's just so rapid, and we've seen that happen. So it's like every year we have a different flu vaccine, which is a protein-based flu vaccine, and we get a different strain, so you get a different flu vaccine. And don't think I'm against vaccines. I'm not. Vaccines have saved millions of lives, but I'm certainly against the way this one was poured out, the propaganda behind it, and where it's left people today. And our government today, our new government, and one of you in the comment section said this, because I don't follow the news that much, said that ACT and National will not be doing any reparations or payout to vaccine injured. So here you have got a massive company that's already been taken to court before for criminal action, selling a product where they made billions of dollars, and you as the person that got it stuck into your arm, if you have an adverse effect, that company that made that big profit is not going to pay out 1 cent to you, and our government is not going to back you either. Now think about that. Doesn't that sound a little bit like a drug cartel? Oh, I went to my local dealer for my shot of heroin, and I got a dose that made me sick. Can I get a payback? They just come, they'll tell you to get fucked. Well, that's what our government's telling us to do, get fucked. Same thing. No difference. Absolutely no difference at all. Oh, coffee. Now that's one drug I can get into, although mine is decaf. I might have burnt it a little bit, but I still kind of like that bitter taste. Oh, no, that's pretty damn good. That's my fix for the day. Anyway, brothers, short video, bit of a rant, bit of a rave, and today I'll do a second one later on the day because I've only just got up. I had a big day on the boat yesterday, and I did a little bit of online work last night, got to bed at a good hour, did my usual thing, took some codeine so I could get to sleep with a chronic sciatic pain, woke up at 3 in the morning like I always do, wriggled around a bit, did a bit of yoga to get back to sleep, went back to sleep. The alarm went off at 6 and I just went the alarm and went back to sleep for another hour and woke up at 7, fed my ducklings, took the dogs for a walk, and now I'm having the coffee. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I might smack another one up in the evening if I get time. Check on a brother and check on yourself too. Go steady. See ya.